to open off me and we are if it's who we are. If it's who we are. If it's who we are. If it's who we are.